Turn 3 Dave. He's the good guys now. A upkeeps Vortex of Destruction, lets Snipe drop, and gives 3 focus to the Manticore. Then the Narn charges because he can, as acrobatics, he can mosey on through whatever he wants. Massacres that poor guy and then sprints in behind to my back lines. Then the Stormfall archers activate and they shoot into my gators. Now that he's not engaged by anything, or the ones that aren't engaged in anything, to be able to hit them harder with brutal damage or brutal shot, and are able to cause enough damage to just kill the one. Mage Hunter Strike Force activates, moves up and around a bit, and makes what attacks they can, and they're finishing off my poor Beastmasters. But that is probably the best thing to do. And he was able to kill last. He was gonna kill last one, but decides he wants to kill the Gator instead. Wants to do as much damage as he can. Only managed to do 1 though, because the other one is engaged and he gets armor 18. And he still has 7 other boxes. And so shooting into the Gladiator now, just trying to do as much damage as he can. He probably has some other things that are going to charge, but and then some melee attacks as well against my Jack and my other Gator, but nothing. And so he then, with 2 extra focus, casts Locomotion to get the Manticore up just a little bit closer, and then totally throws me off. He charges forward into Gallant. Now he does have Vortex of Destruction, and so any other things charging in will get that boosted damage die for free, or additional damage die. And Raven does some decent damage herself. The Arcanist moves up and buffs him in some way. I think it gives him +2 strength or something like that. And then the Manticore does the same thing, spends a focus to boost his strength, and then charges in and starts wailing on my poor Cannoneer. Now he is the weakest of the Titans. He's only 18 compared to the rest of them being 19. A nice big charge attack hit, and the second hit does hit, and very nice damage. Does manage to take out most of the Cannoneers, or does take out the Cannoneer's mind and spirit, and only has 2 body left. Barely alive. But he is alive. But then Dawnguard Sentinel charges up, and with his Weapon Master, even with the 3 ones, it is just barely enough to take out that Cannoneer. And I get 2 focus to Hexorus. Sadly. The Kegbear tops up Borka. Now he's got lots and lots, and he's stumbling drunk. That was great. And then Borka activates and he feats for extra charge distance and free charges and tramples. And then he casts Iron Flesh on himself, and he casts Elemental Communion on himself to try to solidify himself up as much as possible, because there's a lot of Sword Knights. And even if he kills one of my casters, then they're still there because of Hexorus still being on the board. And so it's a lot harder to decapitate the army in this game, and so it's it actually made for a sweet game. It was so much fun. But here is the elemental troll, no, the Earthborn troll, and he comes in and starts slaughtering. Now remember, the -2 strength from the Agonizer is actually going triple 1 to hit. But the minus strength from the Agonizer is gonna help very much. It's like essentially giving myself 2 more armor from the big hitters. And so he is still wailing. It hurts a lot. Huge hit. But it does require him to use all of his focus. And he does have to boost the hit because of... No, he doesn't have to boost damage because of that Vortex. That's what really made it a doozy. Then the stone pops its aura and also gives +1 strength as its secondary feature because of the UA. And then runs all the way forward. And then the other ones run forward. They don't attack the Sword Knights. At first we thought maybe it was a mistake, but nope, because Constance has her feet up, and so every warrior model that dies gives her extra souls and focus. So the Mulg tramples to get the Constance for an assassination run. He needs 6 to hit, and it's basically an auto kill against the precursors. He's hoping to miss as much as possible because he doesn't want them to die, because he killed 3. And now that's 3 more souls on Constance, and that's 3 more armor for Constance. And so he boosts the hit, and buys the attack and boosts the hit, and he does hit. And then hitting the damage, I'm armor 23, I do believe. And so he still causes some damage, but he doesn't have that much focus left on him. He's only going to be able to have one more attack, and does make a huge chunk out, so I only have 5 boxes left. Janissa walks up, puts that, and then we realize the Agonizer we forgot, and so it's actually -4 damage because the Agonizer removing strength from Malg. So the Agonizer is like MVP right now. Mage Hunter just the assassin rocks up and decapitates the crap out of that poor Gatorman. But now it's turn 3 Dan, and so those souls turn into focus, and I do upkeep transference, and then I take what I can. I was almost going to cut myself, but I forgot I could bring one, I can get one from the Agonizer as a Fury Bank. Vengeance moves on the Gatormen. They walk up, and without Iron Flesh, these guys are a whole lot easier to hit. And with 2 Vengeance attacks, I killed 2 of the Mage Hunter Strike Force, which is actually going to be essential. And there we go. So I upkeep Death March, or Dan Medwin, or not Arcane Shield. There we go. And now the Beastmaster Handler enrages the Gladiator, and then the Gladiator point blank charges, so he doesn't get the bonus, but he has to charge, but he gets a +2 strength for enrage, so it's worth it. And hits him once, just a couple damage on the shields, not too bad, but then he does have 3 initials, and so it starts to add up, breaks through the shields, and then 1 onto his body there. And a third last an initial, and the great thing about Horrors is that you don't have to have any kind of focus allocated to you to do your full damage when you really need to. And so with 4 focus left, or 4 fury capable left, his first attack does some nice damage. As you can see, he should easily be able to clear him up, but this is just his second bot attack. He can bind 2 more, so he misses, so he just needs the 3, and then that damage is just enough to wreck the Manticore. Next, the Feral Geist runs all the way across the board. I got a little plan for him. And then the Gators charge. And they have just the right move with those Vengeance moves. It was just perfect. They run up, and they are able to attack Raven. I miss, but I get rerolls the hit at Mat 9. Second one hits, boosted damage from the charge. Hits her, she only has 3 boxes left, and I still have 3 more attacks. But the second attack is enough to take her down. And so the Manticore is already dead, so it actually didn't make a huge difference, beside the fact that Raven obviously is a caster and gets lots of focus and do lots herself. But army wide, it wasn't the hugest thing. And then the Gator taps the Earthborn for a little more damage. Next, the Sword Knights attack start going up. I need 6s to hit and 6s to kill. And watch as I cannot roll 2 6s in a row. When we start out, I hit sometimes, but then I just barely do not kill. And now against the UA, okay, I hit, but I need a lot higher to kill him. I do 1 damage, which is a lot, but I still have 3 or 4 Sword Knights to attack. But these trolls, they're wily little guys. They cannot do anything. This is why you need a reach jack around to give them flank. A little Firefly or Lance, or when you need a Vanguard from that Sword Knights could use Vanguards. But anyways, enough of my rant. They're done. They didn't do anything. Journeyman charges in, didn't upkeep Arcane Shield on him, and so is able to boost damage, it's automatically boosted. And I was going to cast Arcane Shield on Constance, but I got too much around Mulg, so I couldn't actually see Constance. But then Runewood charges in. He is Weapon Master, although not very exciting roll. And then he gives +2 to charge attack rolls on Constance. And so if Mulg does die, she's able to charge out and do more damage. The Agonizer screams again, this time to get rid of the Animus, because, well, if Mulg survives, I don't want him to have his Animus. And also no Elemental Communion for Borka. And so Hexorus, he decides to just leave his beasts, or leaves Gladiator, it's only 1 beast, and he just says, screw it, charges right across, and starts wailing in the Mulg, and exhausts all of his fury. Trying to take him down, but Mulg is surviving with all that armor from the stone, and well, Mulg's just a beast to begin with. So now the precursors, so they use Maro's name, and so they're going to have an additional damage die, and transference is up, so I'm going to be able to even boost more damage. And so we're kind of with the hill, just trying to barely fit everyone in there. And so I'm spreading out to the limits of my command range here, and so 2 on the Earthborn, 3 on Mulg, and then one tries to fit in, but there is no space between the wall and them, so it's very nice. And so one guy walks way out to get out of the reach, and then gets Borka from behind, and the next guy gets right in there. And the last two guys will just kind of move up in front of the wall to be a nuisance next turn. So these three attacking, I just roll all three attacks at the same time to save a bit of time. And all three do hit with their Mat 7 in his back arc. And then I'm boosting off a constant's damage, so it's 4 dice damage at POW plus strength 12. And so this should easily be able to kill Mog and free constants for an assassination run. So second one, also boosting damage off him. I just need to kill him, but I roll really low and do no damage at all. And so then the third attack, I roll pretty high to kind of make up, but Mog is alive still with 4 circles left. And so I gotta figure out how to kill Mog. I want constants out of there. And so 2 attacks against Earthborn, I do actually manage to do some substantial damage, which is great. And with my second attack, also doing a bunch of damage, but I didn't decide not to boost that. Now I am boosting off of constants onto Borka, and so 4 dice damage on Borka. It's still like minus 8 or something. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's enough that he transfers it to the Earthborn because it's kind of scary. Second one, also boosting that damage, or boosting the hit and boosting damage against Borka, and another 6 damage would be. And he transfers it off to the Earthborn. So the Earthborn's really hurting now. But Constance decides it's not worth it, can't get around, and so she just walks up, and she has a few focus left and flank. As you can see, it's a whole army to take down Mog. He is a mountain, literally. And 3 hits, luckily, because of flank and my mat. So it pushes me to mat 9. And then I boost damage, just trying to get rid of him, and that's enough. And a Feral Geist goes and jumps right into him. So end of turn 3. Ooh, that was a long one. But a lot of things happening here. Crazy game, and so Mog is now mine. And Dave is down a caster, and so he'll have to try to pull something out of somewhere. But the game's not over yet. There's still lots of exciting things to come, so stay tuned. Part 3. Where, well, one of us has got to win.